I have phones, but I'm not phone holics. For instance, I will not be giving a talk in a university and at the same time playing with my phone. Or I will not be sitting down in a class, someone is giving a class, and I'll be, watching my phone. And so sometimes the professor is in the class and we are busy on our phones. We are cheating ourselves, because to hear the professor and to absorb, to understand what they are saying will help us to understand the book, the literature better. But if we decide not to be attentive to the professor and we are playing on our phones, it happens. Don't quote me wrong. Even a judge, again in America, a judge was sanctioned. She was presiding over a case, and she was at the same time texting. And it showed in the camera. The courtrooms are wired with cameras. So someone saw that, and they reported it. I reported her, and she was fired from her job. I like to be graphic, not to speak Puranic philosophy that you will defend whatever you do and say, oh, that was over 5,000 years ago. We are in a digital age. I'm talking about digital age.
अमेरिका में सबसे बड़ा कारण यूनिवर्सिटी में जो बच्चे फेल हो रहे हैं वो है सोशल मीडिया और फ़ोन का ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल करना. तो फ़ोन का ज़्यादा, मेरे पास भी 2 फ़ोन है, एक इंडियन नंबर है और एक अमेरिकन नंबर है. लेकिन जब मैं लेक्चर दे रहा हूँ या क्लास दे रहा हूँ तो मैं अपने फ़ोन को साइड में रख देता हूँ. यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में क्या होता है कि प्रोफेसर पढ़ा रहे हैं लेकिन बच्चे उस टाइम भी मैसेजिंग कर रहे हैं. अगर आप ऐसा करेंगे तो आप सुनेंगे कैसे और उसको अपने अंदर उतारेंगे कैसे. एक जज को देखा गया कि केस चल रहा है लेकिन वो फिर भी साथ साथ मैसेजेस कर रहे हैं अमेरिका में. तो ये कैमरा में कैप्चर हो गया और उसी टाइम उनको वहाँ से निकाल दिया गया. ये 5,000 साल पहले की बात नहीं है. अगर आप कहोगे कि अभी डिजिटल एज है, ये अभी की बात है.
So these things are due to a lack of self-restraint, a lack of control over the mind and the senses. A lack of control over the mind and the senses. And you know what this means? A lack of control over the mind and the senses. They drive us to the brink of disaster. They drive us to the brink of academic failures. They drive us to the brink of social disaster. Because, like I mentioned, I know people who got sacked from their jobs because of internet and smartphone use. I know students who failed out from the university because of internet and smartphone unrestricted use. These are bad habits. Why? Because no self-regulation. Because no self-control. Why no self-control? Because the people in general, they don't develop strong spiritual habits to resist these temptations.
अब ऐसा हो गया है कि हमें अपने इंद्रियों पर, अपने सेंसेस पे कंट्रोल हमारा बिल्कुल ख़त्म होता जा रहा है. और मैंने देखा है कि इस वजह से यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में बच्चे फेल हो रहे हैं और जॉब से लोगों को निकाला जा रहा है. ये इसलिए हो गया क्योंकि हम बिल्कुल ही अपने आप को कंट्रोल नहीं कर पा रहे हमारी बुरी आदतों को. हमारी बुरी आदतें सिर्फ एक ही चीज़ से कंट्रोल हो सकती है, वो है आध्यात्मिक आदतें या स्पिरिचुअल हैबिट्स अपनाने से.
Therefore, we have to understand that forming spiritual habits is not the ultimate goal of life. It leads us to the ultimate goal of life. For instance, the chanting is not the ultimate goal of life, but it leads us to achieving the ultimate goal of life, which is Krishna Prema.
आध्यात्मिक आदतें हमें लगेगा कि ये हमारा अल्टीमेट लाइफ का गोल नहीं है, लेकिन ये हमें अल्टीमेट लाइफ के गोल तक लेकर जाता है. जैसे चैंटिंग हमारा अल्टीमेट गोल नहीं है, लेकिन ये हमें कृष्णा तक लेकर जाता है.
When we form spiritual habits like self-regulation and daily chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, there are a lot of things that happen in our lives. For instance, we have better mental health. Better mental health. In other words, we do better, improved mental health. And this is not preaching, this is science. Because scientists have conducted research on the Mahamantra and they came up with results that favor the improvement of mental health, like stress, anxiety, depression, sleeplessness, or insomnia. It has also been proven by scientists through their research that spiritual habits help us. Spiritual habits like chanting help to improve our attention span.
जो हमारी आध्यात्मिक आदतें हैं, हम अगर इसको अपनाते हैं जैसे कि चैंटिंग, तो साइंटिस्ट ने इस पर रिसर्च करी है कि हमारा स्ट्रेस, एंजाइटी और डिप्रेशन इससे कम होता है और हमारा अटेंशन स्पैन इससे बढ़ता है.
I was mentioning also today in one of the colleges we went, one of these colleges from Subsume in the University of Delhi. We had a program there this afternoon. And one of the things I was mentioning was, I was questioning them that whether they know why these short videos, less than 1 minute video clips, they are the type of videos that are in vogue now. Do you know why? Okay, maybe I should ask you. You know why this is what is common these days? Short videos. Why? Instead of long videos. Why is short video clips in vogue? Because we have short or low attention span. We cannot concentrate for long. We get disturbed. This is the impulse of Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, we get disturbed by the least situation. We are not grounded. And therefore, the technologists, they develop this system where we don't have to strain ourselves because of low attention span. So we can just watch something for less than 1 minute and we can get the essence of what the speaker is saying, instead of watching all through with all of the details. So the short videos are a coping mechanism for low attention span.
आजकल सबका अटेंशन स्पैन इतना कम हो गया है, इसलिए आजकल इंटरनेट पर 1 मिनट से कम की वीडियोस चल रही हैं, रील्स चल रही हैं, शॉर्ट्स चल रही हैं. आप सबने देखा ही होगा. आप लोगों को पता है वो सब क्यों हो रहा है? क्योंकि हम लोग बड़ी वीडियोस देख ही नहीं पाते, तो ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलप कर दी जिससे हम पूरी लंबी वीडियो का एसेंस हमें एक शॉर्ट वीडियो में पता चल जाए. बट ये सब क्यों हो रहा है? क्योंकि हमारी क्षमता कम हो गई है किसी चीज पे अटेंशन की या कंसंट्रेशन की.
So the chanting that people are doing is a powerful habit. It has transformed many people from being a drug addict to Paramahamsas. It has transformed people who are sex maniacs to Paramahamsas. It has transformed people who are potheads to Paramahamsas. So, it is a powerful habit.
चैंटिंग एक बहुत पावरफुल आध्यात्मिक आदत है. उसने ऐसे ड्रग एडिक्ट्स को परमहंस बना दिया है और ऐसे लोगों को जो एक बहुत बुरी आदतों में थे उनको भी परमहंस बना दिया है.
And so when you practice spiritual habits, you can be transformed. Spiritual habits are transformative agencies. I repeat, spiritual habits are transformative agencies. They change our lives for better.
जो आध्यात्मिक आदतें हैं वो आपके जीवन को पूरा बदल सकती हैं बेहतर के लिए. तो जो स्पिरिचुअल आदतें हैं, आध्यात्मिक आदतें, वो एक बदलाव की संस्था है. मैं दोबारा से बोलता हूँ, जो स्पिरिचुअल हैबिट्स है वो एक बदलाव की संस्था है और आपके जीवन को पूरा बदल सकती है अच्छे के लिए.
So suppose someone is addicted to bad habits like smoking, taking intoxications, or just completely crazy after exploiting human bodies. There are people who are just addicted to exploiting human bodies. Oh yeah. They are not satisfied with one woman or one man. I know people, again, in America, I've seen people who change spouses like 5 times. The ex-spouses, they're still living, they're not dead. I have seen it. This is very popular in the entertainment industry. You hear all of these celebrities go deep into their life. Look, some of them may even have private jet planes, but they have changed partners. Some of them have changed partners like 5 times, and the ex-partners are still living. What is the cause of this? A desire to exploit human forms, human bodies. And this is exactly in relation to what Krishna mentions in the Gita, that the conditioned soul is been exploiting the resources of material nature since time immemorial. So we see this vividly in the West, where people try this, they 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 try this.
तो मैंने ऐसा देखा है कि धूम्रपान, स्मोकिंग, नशा करना और अपने जीवन साथी को बदलना, जबकि उनका जीवन साथी अभी भी जिंदा है, तभी भी लोग अपने जीवन साथी को अमेरिका में स्पेशली ऐसा होता है कि बार बार बदलते हैं, एटलीस्ट 5 बारी, और अपने शरीर को, अपने सेंसेस को इतना ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल करते हैं लोग बाहर.
So I see a number of young people here, and this is a globalized society. So we also look up to the West to see what is happening in the West, and we imitate those habits. And yes, we imitate those habits. We like to live like Americans, isn't it?
मैं यहाँ पर देखता हूँ कि जो बहुत यंगस्टर्स हैं वो बाहर वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड को या अमेरिका को देखते हैं और उनकी हैबिट्स अपनाने की कोशिश करते हैं. हम उनकी तरह जीने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं.
But Americans are turning to India to come and imbibe spiritual habits.
जो अमेरिकन्स हैं, जो वेस्टर्नर्स हैं, वो इंडिया की तरफ देख रहे हैं, भारत की तरफ देख रहे हैं आध्यात्मिक आदतें अपनाने के लिए.
And you are thinking of how to imbibe the Western habits and degrade your life.
आप लोगों ने जैसे एक कसम खा ली है कि हमको अमेरिकन्स को देखकर हम थोड़ा सा वो हो जाते हैं कि हमको उनकी आदतें अपनानी है, और ये चीज़ें करके हम अपने जीवन को डिग्रेड कर रहे हैं, नीचे की तरफ लेके जा रहे हैं.
let's be clear. Human form of life is different from animal life. The difference is that human beings can form powerful spiritual habits that will enable them to navigate through the challenges of life.
मनुष्य जीवन एक एनिमल जीवन या जानवर के जीवन से अलग है क्योंकि मनुष्य के पास ही वो एक शक्ति है कि वो एक अच्छी आदतें और आध्यात्मिक आदतें अपनाकर अपने जीवन को उठा सकते हैं.
Therefore, if someone is not cultivating some spiritual habits to enable them to become better human beings, to be more ethical in their lives, to be not infested with criminal tendencies, then that person is more or less not a human being. It's an animal.
अगर हमें मनुष्य जीवन मिलने के बाद भी हम अगर आध्यात्मिक आदतें नहीं अपना रहे हैं और हमारे अंदर ऐसी टेंडेंसीज आ रही हैं, ऐसी इच्छाएं अभी भी पनप रही हैं, तो ये मनुष्य जीवन किसी काम का नहीं है.
And therefore, when you have a community like this where spiritual habits are being propagated, and we are encouraging people to form spiritual habits like eating regularly, having regulated eating, don't eat something, don't make your body, of course in India they don't, in most areas they don't bury the bodies, but in other parts of the world we have what we call a cemetery, where people, their dead bodies are buried. So people sometimes they make their bodies like a cemetery.
तो इंडिया में तो ऐसा भारत में नहीं होता कि हम मृत्यु के बाद दफना दें शरीर को, लेकिन बाहर ऐसा होता है. लेकिन हम जीते जी अपने शरीर को एक ग्रेवयार्ड बना रहे हैं.
So when we eat flesh, it's like making our bodies like a graveyard.
जब हम नॉनवेज खाते हैं या मांसाहार का सेवन करते हैं तो हम अपने शरीर को ही एक ग्रेवयार्ड बना रहे हैं.
We have not heard of diseases or anything harmful for people who form the habit of being vegetarians, for instance. We never heard of that. We have heard of cases where people, the diseases of people are relatable to flesh eating. Why? Because our system is made for vegetarian eating. When we go outside of our design system, we get into trouble.
हमारा जो मनुष्य की शरीर है ये मांसाहार नहीं शाकाहार भोजन के लिए भगवान ने बनाया है, और जब हम इस सिस्टम को तोड़ के इससे बाहर जाते हैं और हम मांसाहार का सेवन करते हैं तो हम बहुत सारी मुश्किलों में आ जाते हैं.
So here is another spiritual habit to try. Without you changing your status quo, you just have to change what you eat, even if it's just for the purpose of being healthy. We never hear from any research results that being a vegetarian gives you any type of disease. No. But rather, we have had so many research reports showing how the meat causes so much trouble. And we understand why. Because the carnivores, the animals that eat meat, their alimentary canal is very short. The long intestines, very short. The small and big intestines, they're very short. In the acid, in the stomach, the hydrochloric acid concentration is very high. So they don't need to cook the meat. You have to cook the meat because you are trying to adjust to do what our human species what is not suitable for our human species. That's why we cook the meat. The entities, animals that are designed for meat eating, they don't have any business with cooking the meat.
मनुष्य का जो शरीर है वो मांसाहार भोजन के लिए बना ही नहीं है। जो जानवर का शरीर है वो मांसाहार भोजन के लिए ही बना है। हम लोगों को पकाना पड़ता है खाना, क्योंकि हमारी जो लार्ज इंटेस्टाइन है वो लंबी है और एनिमल्स की जो जानवरों की है वो छोटी है, उसमें एसिड ज़्यादा होता है, तो उनको पकाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, वो रॉ खा सकते हैं, एज इट इज़ खा सकते हैं। और हमने कभी नहीं सुना कि किसी को शाकाहारी खाने से कोई बीमारी हो गई हो, लेकिन हमने ये बहुत सुना है कि जो मांसाहार का सेवन करता है वो बहुत सारी दिक्कतों में फंस जाते हैं।
So, it's very common in the West. People keep dogs. People keep cats. It's also becoming common in the place in places like India. People keep dogs and cats. There's no problem keeping dogs and cats. The dogs, they help with security. The cats, they help in chasing out rats and all this stuff. But there is hypocrisy when the people who are protecting dogs and cats, they kill or they encourage the killing of the brothers and sisters of the cats and dogs. That's the cow. The cow, the cow is within the animal species. In other words, they are brothers and sisters with the dogs and cats. We keep dogs and cats to do some work for us, but we kill or encourage the killing of cow to eat the flesh. Then we are not properly exhibiting that compassion equally. In other words, we tend to display some type of hypocrisy, pretending as if we're compassionate. Come stay here, nobody's going to harm you. But then their brother or their sister, oh, we say, kill it.
बाहर लोग डॉग्स और कैट्स रखते हैं, कुत्ते और बिल्ली। डॉग्स को इसलिए रखते हैं ताकि वो सिक्योरिटी करें, और कैट्स को इसलिए रखते हैं ताकि वो चूहे को खाएं। और जब गाय की बात आती है तो वो बोलते हैं कि उनका मांस खाते हैं। तो ये किस तरीके का जानवर से प्रेम हुआ? ये तो एक झूठ हो गया।
So, again, in America, there's a slogan. We say, walk your talk. Walk your talk. You say one thing, act like that. Don't act otherwise. If you act otherwise, then you're a hypocrite. And you're not a good leader. You're not a good student. You're not a good teacher. And therefore, we form the habit of being straightforward, not being hypocritical. From a tender age, we should live our lives in accordance with the design of nature, of our bodies by nature, regarding what we eat.
तो हमको जो हम बोलते हैं उसको हमें उसको अपने कर्म में भी दिखाना चाहिए। यहाँ पर हम बोल रहे हैं कि हमें जानवर से प्यार करना है, और वहाँ पर हम गाय का मांस खा रहे हैं, तो फिर ये तो एक झूठ हो गया। तो हमें अच्छी आदत अपनानी है, जैसे सत्य बोलने की आदत।
Recently, I like to be graphic and not talk too much about Purana, because then people will always defend themselves and say, oh, Maharaj, that happened over 5,000 years ago. And, we are in 21st century. Okay, I'll give you a 21st century story, recent story about... I got a mail from, a letter from, through my website. And this boy is a student. He's in university, sophomore, second year in the university. He says that, Maharaj, I need help. And what is that? He says that he's been He's been a vegetarian for some time, and he's been chanting for some time. But now there is so much of pressure from his parents. His parents. Not American parents. There's a pressure from his parents that no, you cannot be a vegetarian in this house. And you cannot chant Krishna's names in this house. Yes, bolo.
तो महाराज के एक स्टूडेंट ने महाराज को मेल किया कि मैं काफ़ी टाइम से चैंटिंग कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन अब मुझे एक प्रॉब्लम हो गई है। वो प्रॉब्लम ये है कि मेरे घर में मुझे बोला जा रहा है कि मुझे मांसाहार खाना ज़रूरी है और मैं यहाँ पे भगवान का कृष्ण का नाम नहीं ले सकता।
But being a vegetarian is a good habit. What is the badness in being a vegetarian? You're being compassionate and chanting Krishna's name. What is the bad habit in it? You're glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if someone glorifies you, should that person be charged for a crime? What's the crime in glorifying somebody? There's no crime. We just want to tell our children that, look, I am the boss. You are in this house. Don't try to be ethical. Don't try to be compassionate. I am sinful. Better be sinful like me. No, you cannot do otherwise in this house. This is literally what some of the parents are unspokenly telling their children. Stop being a vegetarian, because I am not a vegetarian. To me, it looks like I'm envious of my child. You're trying to rise. Where are you going? I'm a meat eater. You want to be better than me? Come on, let's be on the same page. Let's be on the same page.
माता पिता घर में बच्चों को वही करने को बोलते हैं जो वो करते हुए आए हैं। जैसे अगर माता पिता मांसाहारी है तो वो चाहते हैं कि उनके बच्चे भी मांसाहारी हों, और जो भी कोई शाकाहारी होना चाहता है तो वो उनको मना करते हैं, क्योंकि उन्होंने कभी शाकाहारी भोजन नहीं खाया। उनको लगता है कि जैसा हम कर रहे हैं वैसा ही ये लोग करें, क्योंकि उनके घर में उनका राज होता है। तो ये कैसी मानसिकता है कि हम अपने ही बच्चों के बारे में सोच रहे हैं कि अगर ये ऐसा करेगा तो ये हमसे बेहतर हो जाएगा, या ये भी वही करे जो हम करते आए हैं। ये कैसी मानसिकता है?
Yes, our children, we should protect them. But is that a way to protect a child? Telling the child, you have to be sinful. No, I don't think that's the way to protect the child. Telling the child, no, you don't have to be compassionate. To be brutally honest, some of us are not doing our jobs properly. We are discouraging our children from being compassionate. We are discouraging our children from being ethical. And that is not good.
हम अपना कार्य अच्छे से नहीं कर रहे। हम अपने बच्चों को बोल रहे हैं कि दूसरों पे दया मत दिखाओ या मांसाहार का सेवन करो, तो हम अपना कहीं ना कहीं अपना कार्य ढंग से नहीं कर रहे।
I know, I've seen it in my own life, that some parents are just envious of their children. They are meat eaters. I know one millionaire. And when the child was small, he would personally, he drinks all these hot drinks and meat eating and everything. He will personally feed the child with hot drinks. 5-year-old child. I have seen it. He personally feed the child with meat, so that will be poisoned right from childhood. And when they are growing, they will be habituated in that. This is not good. We should allow our children to form spiritual habits that will help them to become more moral, more compassionate, and more ethical.
मैंने ऐसा खुद अपनी आंखों से देखा है कि 5 साल के बच्चे को कोई अरबपति 5 साल के अपने बच्चे को वही आदतें डालने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं जो वो अपनाते हैं। जैसे 5 साल के बच्चे के अंदर गरम हार्ड ड्रिंक्स, अल्कोहल सेवन कराना और मांसाहार का सेवन कराना, क्योंकि वो मांसाहारी है। तो ये किस तरीके का मानसिकता है?
So we have mentioned some few habits worthy of forming that will help us to become better human beings. One of them is the chanting. Another one is to be regulated in our eating, in our sleeping. We should try to see how we go to bed on time, so that we can wake up on time, strong, be ready to go to work. And we need to exercise some restraint in how we tend to control everyone around us. If even they are our children, if they are forming some ethical habits, we should relax. We should allow them, we should encourage them to go on, if even we are not able to have that courage to do it ourselves. Thank you.
तो हमें ये 3 आध्यात्मिक आदतें अपनानी चाहिए। एक, चैंटिंग भगवान के नाम की। दूसरी, सोने पर नियंत्रण, खान पान पे नियंत्रण। और तीसरी, हमें सुबह जल्दी उठकर तीसरी ये थी कि हमारे अगर बच्चों को कुछ आदतें अपनानी है और वो हम नहीं अपनाते, तो हमको उनको अलाउ करना चाहिए कि उनको जो करना है वो अपनाने के लिए, अगर स्पेशली वो अच्छी आदतें अपनाना चाहते हैं और वो हमसे किसी कारण हम नहीं अपना पा रहे। तो
I have about 8 more minutes, so maybe we have some 2 questions.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments on forming spiritual habits for our betterment? The power of spiritual habits. It liberates us from the clutches of birth and death. Yes, Bolo, any comments or questions?
किसी को कोई सवाल, कोई क्वेश्चन है तो आप हिंदी में भी पूछ सकते हैं, we'll translate it in English. आप हिंदी में पूछ सकते हैं, उनसे इंग्लिश में बात करेंगे। किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन?
Any questions or comments? Yes, Babu.
Can you please tell me how to develop good concentration while doing something? It seems when we are studying, we can't develop our concentration because it seems very boring. We feel sleepy while doing studying or reading. So how to develop concentration?
Yeah. Yes.
हाँ, कभी-कभी जब पढ़ाई में मन नहीं लगता या बहुत बोरिंग हो जाती है, तो उसको कंसंट्रेशन कैसे डेवलप करें, महाराज जी से पूछ रहे हैं।
Yeah, school in general, studying in general, is not juicy. Studying in general is very challenging. But that's why some people, they choose not to go to school. But if you don't go to school, you are directly creating a dismal consequence for your future life.
स्कूल का जो जनरली स्कूल जाने का जो पूरा एक कार्यक्रम है बड़ा बोरिंग है, उसमें कोई थोड़ा भी इंटरेस्टिंग नहीं है, इसलिए मन नहीं करता जाने का.
So yeah, it could be boring when we're reading and trying to concentrate. But because we are trying to be spiritual, if we incorporate sadhana along with our educational pursuit, we'll find it easier, because then the attention span is improved because of the purification of the senses and the mind. And this is one of the things that helps to promote even students' grades. I did conduct a study some years ago with undergraduate students, comparing their grades when they were chanting as against when they were not chanting. And their grades were higher during the period that they were chanting.
अगर हम साधना को और चैंटिंग को अपने जीवन में उतारेंगे पढ़ने के साथ साथ, तो हमारा अटेंशन स्पैन बढ़ेगा. जैसे अंडर ग्रेजुएट स्टूडेंट्स पे रिसर्च हुई, बिना चैंटिंग के उनके मार्क्स और चैंटिंग के बाद उनके मार्क्स कैसे आए, और दोनों मार्क्स में बहुत ज़्यादा अंतर था.
So the concentration can be improved when we embark on serious sadhana. There are research reports on that. Attention span is improved when the learner engages in strong sadhana.
तो अटेंशन स्पैन और कंसंट्रेशन इम्प्रूव होती है जब हम साधना करते हैं, चैंटिंग करते हैं, और इसके ऊपर प्रॉपर साइंटिफिक रिसर्च हुआ है. हमारे सेंसेस प्योरीफाई होते हैं जब हम साधना करते हैं और ध्यान अच्छा लगता है पढ़ाई में.
Any comments? Yeah? Someone is asking a question?
Questions?
Any last comment or questions?
Maharaj, on their behalf, I wonder, they have their exams after 10 days or so, so still they found time for your session. And so, any last, takeaway examination tip, Maharaj?
Yes.
इन सब बच्चों का एग्जाम है 10 दिन में, तो महाराज जी से पूछ रहे हैं कि कोई टिप्स आप दीजिए ताकि वो अच्छा कर पाए अपने एग्जाम में.
Yes, I can tell you. One of the major factors that makes students to be successful is when they face difficult exams. When the student looks at the question sheet and there are the questions are very cheap, so easy to fail. So easy to fail. Because you just rush. And by the time you rush and then you pass your paper to the professor, and when you go out then you're reflecting. Oh, I made a mistake here. Oh, I made a mistake here. So, be careful. If even the questions are very cheap, be careful. That is like a bait to get you into terrible situation. Read through, have a breath, and pray to the Lord you worship to give you good attention. Don't rush your exams. Walk with the time. Don't try to be the first person who finished.
सबसे ज़्यादा गलती स्टूडेंट्स तब करते हैं जब जब क्वेश्चन पेपर देखते हैं और उनको लगता है कि ये तो बहुत आसान है, ये तो बहुत आसान है, ये तो बहुत आसान है, और जल्दी जल्दी ख़त्म कर देते हैं, और घर जाके या रास्ते में याद आता है कि अरे मैंने ये लिखना भूल गया या मैंने ये नहीं लिखा. तो जब आपका आसान आपको लगे या क्वेश्चन पेपर आसान आए तो उस टाइम रुको, सोचो, भगवान से प्रे करो और कृपा मांगो, और जिस भी मतलब कृष्णा को आप प्रे करो कि आपका अटेंशन स्पैन और कंसंट्रेशन बढ़ाए. और
the mother aspect is not for the immediate exam coming, but for the whole of your academic career. When you register in a university, you register in a college, don't wait for exams. I tell my students, you start reading as if exam is the next day. In that way, before the exam period, you have all of the data, essential things that you need to know about your courses, right in your palm. And the professor can come to wake you up even in the dead of night. They say it's time for exam. You just tell them thank you. And then you walk into the exam hall, write exams and come out with flying colors. If you wait until the exam period, you could get so stressed because you have to deal with a cluster of reading. And that is not very good for the brain in Kali Yoga.
तो आपको ये सिर्फ इस एग्ज़ाम के लिए ये टिप्स नहीं है, आपके आगे के जितने भी एग्ज़ाम्स आने हैं, आप कभी भी एग्ज़ाम की वेट मत करो. आपको तो पता ही है कि एग्ज़ाम आने हैं, तो आप पहले से ही ऐसे प्रिपेयर कर लो कि एग्ज़ाम जैसे कल हो। तो इससे क्या होगा, अगर कोई प्रोफेसर आपको रात को भी जगाए कि आपको अभी एग्ज़ाम देना है, तो आप तैयार रहोगे एग्जामिनेशन देने के लिए कभी भी। तो क्योंकि आपके पास आपका मटेरियल, बुक्स, सिलेबस सब कुछ होता ही है पहले से ही, तो इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट्स आप अपने पाम में लिख लो और जब भी समय मिलता है आप उसको पढ़ते रहो। इससे क्या होगा, आप जब कभी भी पेपर दे सकते हो।
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।